Hello, beautiful. Welcome to today's Thursday Talk and the Organizing Mindset podcast. I'm Susanna Kay, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, we are talking about the game changing digital tools that you might not have even known that you needed. Plus, I'll give you a couple of tips and tricks that will just make life more fun, more easy, and keep you safer with your digital devices. So, as you have fun, let me know who you are and where you're joining me from. Sorry, today I have a bit of a cold. I'm just getting over a cold still, so my voice might be a little bit scratchy, but hopefully it lasts throughout this whole session. So tell me also while you're at it in the comments, are you comfortable with technology? Are you somebody who knows how to use your smartphone pretty well? You're comfortable with all the computer stuff and you can do the basics. Or maybe you're a tech genius and you could just do all the things and it comes super easy to you. Or I know that there's probably a lot of us out there that are not that comfortable with technology. So let me know, where are you at so I can make sure to curate more things that can help you versus choosing the wrong stuff to talk about. All right. So in the comments, I wanted to say hello to a few of you and see how you're doing with your technology. Denise says she is trying to be more comfortable with technology. She says it just changes so quickly that I can't keep up. I understand that one. I thank goodness I have a teenager in the house that keeps me from being passive about it. It's like I have to learn things as fast as or faster than her so I can figure out what's going on in the world. But it does, it changes so fast. Good morning, Sandy. Good to see you. Welcome, Nancy. Nancy says, yes, I think I'm kind of comfortable with technology unless it doesn't work the way I think it should. I get you there. Good morning, Susan and Mary. Mary's comfortable with technology. Awesome. Bonnie says, I sometimes am afraid of technology. That's understandable. There's so much that if you don't understand the workings and connections and meaning behind it, it can be kind of scary. I get that. Good morning, Karen. Hi. And hello, Peggy Jean. She says, yes, I'm comfortable with technology. And she says, good morning. Wendy says, hello. Hi, Wendy. She says, mostly okay with technology, but it's always changing and AI is a concern. Absolutely. Yes. AI is a wonderful tool, but it's also something to be aware of and to understand at a little bit of a deeper level because you need to be aware of things that they could use it for in the bad ways, right? So, absolutely, that makes sense. We should probably do a talk about AI one of these times. That's probably a good idea. I like that. Lori says hello. She says, oh, not comfortable with it when it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. Couldn't open websites yesterday today, so had to reset the router and now it works. Yay! That's great that you are actually, enough to be able to reset the router and do that troubleshooting. A lot of people don't. That's a good one. Hi, Pat. She's comfortable with technology. And Joyce, she used to be more comfortable, but the older she gets, the harder it seems. Yeah, it changes so fast, right? Melody says, no, not really comfortable with tech. I need my 3 kids to help me. I'm in my 60s, so that partially explains it. Kazia says, you give me hope every time you talk to us. I love your YouTube shorts. Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet, Kazia. Well, I love having you here. And yeah, these are the types of things that I love to teach. I love to help just help life be easier. That's why I've got the Path membership and all that stuff too. So that way I can just do these kinds of things more often. It's so great. Sue says, good morning. I am not a fan of technology, right? And Suzanne says, I'm old and no kids or grandkids to ask. Laura says, I hate having to read all the site and privacy rules or whatever they're called. Yes, there's a lot of things that you need to read and be aware of. We should talk about that a little bit. Remind me in our Pathfinder Thursday talk after this. Remind me, and we could talk a little bit about those basics of the terms and conditions and privacy settings and some of those things within the digital world, as well as just kind of touch on some of AI if we wanted to. So remind me during our chat after this for our members. Hi, Melanie. She says, after losing my original 10-plus-year-old Facebook account on June 10th, I'd say I'm uncomfortable with new tech. Yes, well, you just got, you drew the short straw that day. That was awful. Yeah, poor thing. Lori says, too many sections in the settings that I don't understand. Totally fair. And Sandy says, somewhat comfortable with technology, but find it hard to keep up with the newer things. Yeah, there's so much that changes so often that, and that's one of the things that within that, the Pathfinders Plus Club that I talked about in emails over the past couple days. In the Pathfinders Plus Club, one of the things that I will be sharing are the new things that you need to know. And that way you don't have to worry about learning everything. I plan to, if there's something new that is going to be really helpful for you or that you should be aware of, I want to be able to share those things with you and help you become comfortable with some of those very basic things. We aren't going to get super techie or digital because we're more of a, hands-on type of a organizing group and to-do list group. But as AI comes out and things unfold with that, as privacy concerns roll out, as new technology gets upgraded, the whole what do you need to know? How can you just give me the bullet points of how to be safer and how to make it all work without a lot of pain and discomfort? Those are some of the things that as we go along in the Pathfinders Club, you will hear about from me. So hopefully that helps you out as for all of my Pathfinders, or if you're thinking about becoming a Pathfinder, hopefully that helps you bite the bullet, make the decision, and join. You can always stop by the store, SusannaK.com, and join Pathfinders Plus Club, and we'd love to have you. But today we are talking about some of the digital tools that you didn't know that you needed, as well as a few things that you just might be fun or you might have heard of, but you don't really know how it can help you out, that type of stuff. So we'll go through some of these on the quicker side, but you'll get all the information that you need to see if it's something you even want to go deeper with. But anything that I talk about today, you can check it out on my Amazon store. That link is in the comments if you're on Facebook or YouTube. And it's also in the description of this video or on the screen right now. SusannaK.live/Amazon-tech-tools. I'm sorry if you hear noise in the background. I just decided to start cutting down my neighbor's tree right as we started. So hopefully you don't get a lot of distracting sound from that. Let me know if you do, and I'll try to see if there's, I don't know if there's anything I can do, but I'll try. So let me know if it gets distracting. All right. So, perfect. Oh yeah, Wendy. Okay, she says had trouble accessing the new Pathfinder information to upgrade, but I'll try again on my computer, not on my phone. I do know that there was a problem with the link that hopefully is fixed. So yeah, try again. Let me know if you have any troubles accessing any of the ways to upgrade. If you're an existing Pathfinder, to upgrade, just shoot me an email and I can make sure that it happens for you. Absolutely. CJ says, very comfortable with tech, but have a love-hate relationship with it. That's me, actually. I'd say I have a love-hate relationship with it as well. Mostly love still, but I think I don't like how often it changes and I have to learn new things. But actually, I think I've made it better for myself, and it's not so bad because I have a point of learning new things, which is to teach you to learn what's important so I can tell you, all of my Pathfinders especially, what's important so you don't have to go through learning everything to figure it out. So thank you for giving me a purpose for keeping up to date on the basic tech that we would need. I appreciate that. All right, so let's dive into some of what we're talking about today, right? Those game-changing digital tools that you didn't know you needed. Now, a few of these might seem a little bit, pardon me, not quite as, earth-shattering, but they make a huge difference in life. And a few of these you may have heard of or not understood, and some of these you've probably not even heard of. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is actually called the Focus Mindset Timed Lockbox. Now, this one is actually, have this, but it's in the other room. So I'm going to try to show you this one on my screen instead, because then this is by Mindsight. And let me share my screen. There we go. Okay, so this one is by Mindsight. And as you can see, this is actually just on Amazon, but this is a timed lockbox. Now, why did this make it onto my tech gadgets that you need list, right? Well, because with this lockbox, this is such a great way to stay focused throughout your day. Um, and I'll play this video.
This is the best timed lockbox on the market. It's super easy to use.
Just going to mute it. But you can kind of see this is their video, and what you can do is you can put whatever it is in there that you are trying to keep away from yourself or the teenagers or whatever it is. And you can either set no timer and just have it locked until you enter a code. You could set a timer and it'll unlock at the time that you set it. And there's an emergency override code. Or if you don't trust yourself at all, you can even set a timer where there is no override code. Like the only way to get into it would be to break the box, which the box is able to be broken, but nobody wants to do that, right? You don't want to break your box. So that is the that is by Mind. I'm sorry, by Mind Sight. It's spelled wrong on the screen. I did not notice it. Autocorrects. Thinks it knows what I want to say better than I do. There we go. That's by Mind Sight. And like I said, that's in that Amazon list. But I really liked this one because it's actually really kind of nice to look at. It's a very pretty design and it's very simple. I don't need a million gadgets and things that I now have to figure out how to use in order to keep away my other gadgets. But this is perfect if you are the type that gets distracted by your phone, whether it is checking notifications that pop up or automatically picking it up and opening it up to check emails or social or anything like that. Or if you spend too much time on it, this is really helpful. And what my husband and I do, Moose Pie, is we will decide what nights are our date nights, our at-home date nights, and we will both put our phones into the timed lockbox in the evening and set the timer for, whatever time is a little bit before bed. So that way we are not tempted to pick up our phone and not even realize that we just disconnected from the other person, even if we're just watching TV. So having a way to disconnect from some of that technology that we can get so addicted to is really helpful. So check out getting a timed lockbox. Mindset, like I said, is one that I loved. It's one that I have in the other room, and it's actually really nice to look at. There's wood and there's a white and gray version. But it has been a fantastic way to keep myself from being distracted by, there it is, by this guy. So it'll help you focus and work and all that stuff. So that's the only thing that I'm going to talk about like that. If you have any questions, ask in the comments. But there are other ways besides just a lockbox that you can help keep yourself from getting distracted, right? So I usually say if you have an iPhone, and I believe Android has this as well, I'm pretty sure, you can set different focus modes. So there are, and you'll just have to Google this or ask if you're a Pathfinder. We could talk about this in one of our Pathfinder lives. But you can create a focus mode where it could be like work focus or sleep focus, personal time focus. And you can choose what type of apps are shown on your home screens, what type of apps are allowed to show you notifications, all of that type of stuff. So you really control what it's showing you during those times. So aside from a timed lockbox, which is the easiest to just throw it in there and then you're not disturbed at all. Aside from that, setting some focus modes are really helpful for times when you're at work, times when you're trying to wind down at night. There are different ways that you can change in your settings of your phone to create sort of that same environment of reducing the amount of digital clutter in your brain, which I think is important. So we will talk more about that in Pathfinders, but that's just a quick thought for you. So, like I said, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Okay. So Denise says, oh, good. Yay. Technology worked for me on this one. She says, I can't hear any outside noise from your end. That's fantastic because it sounds like it is right outside my window. Lori says, I need a lock big enough for a lockbox big enough to put a TV. Piles and piles of papers I need to work on, food, etc. That's funny. I love it. Maybe you just need like a giant storage shed with a lock, right? Put everything in there and not let yourself have the combination for a while. Love it. Okay, so next up, for those of you who are note takers, and I am a huge note taker because I am very visual and I'm a kinetic learner. I think it's kinetic, not kinesthetic. Yes. Let me know if I'm wrong. But I am very much tactile. I have to touch it. I have to be able to see it in order to really let something sink in. So when it comes to taking notes, if you take a ton of notes like I do, and you want to be able to easily save them, or you just don't want to kill an entire forest for every webinar you might happen to watch, then the Rocket Book is by far one of my favorite tech gadgets that can actually help you out. And this is one that I did not think that I would like when I got it as a gift. So I resisted it because I thought the last thing I need is a notebook that I have to figure out. And quite honestly, I use such a fraction of the different features that the notebook can do. So it can do 5 kajillion things. I use it for maybe 2. And those 2 are well worth the value of what I've paid for the notebooks that I've got. And it's kind of like with the Pathfinders Club, right? You don't have to do every single thing that we offer. Pick the things that work best for you and just do those. And that's worth, more than what you pay for it already. Don't try to do all the things. Same thing with the Rocket Book. So with the Rocket Book, now, if you have not seen this before, then this is going to be like, you might want to dive a little bit deeper into the Rocket Book on my YouTube channel. I have some different videos about it, or read through it on the Amazon listing. But you've probably seen this a little bit before. This is one of my Rocket Books. This one is the multi-subject Rocket Book, so it's a much thicker one than usual. But the key with the Rocket Book is you can write on it with the friction pens, which I love those even without the Rocket Book. You can write on it with the friction pens, and then when you're done with that note, you can wipe it off with a wet cloth and the page is ready to be used again. So you're not killing an entire forest when you fill up notebook after notebook with notes. Even, I always felt bad writing notes that were just scribbled and not even, not so useful afterwards. I felt like I was killing trees for nothing. Now I can write whatever helps me retain the information. So that's the part that I use the most. The fact that you can write onto them and wipe them off later on whenever you're ready to reuse that page. I usually fill up a notebook and then I can, get rid of any notes that I don't need. I just wipe them all off at once. Now, the other things that Rocket Book can do, and sometimes I use some of these. For one, you can easily scan your notes. I do sometimes use it to scan my notes. It has little icons that you can mark to tell it where to save the scan. And the point of this Rocket Book being easy for scanning notes is so that way it can automatically send your notes, your scan, to wherever it is that you want to save them. So you don't have to go through all the steps of, okay, well, I want to send it to my Google Drive in this folder and do multiple steps. It's just one scan, it automatically goes there. It can automatically title your notes. It can, if you've got decent enough handwriting or if it learns it well enough, it can transcribe it into actually like typed notes with the character recognition. And there are a million other things this can do. It can create lists, all sorts of stuff. Like I said, I use maybe 1% of the features that it can do. And that's what I'm happy with because I don't really need a notebook to be super, super digital for myself. But if you are a more digital person, or if you do like to keep your notes and want to be able to scan them to reference them, but still use your notebook over and over again without killing a whole forest, then this is for you. And that's the me, that because most of my notes I don't look back at, but I still want them scanned in case. So it makes it very easy to do that. Now, Rocketbook has several different types. It has several different accessories. So like I said, this is the multi-subject. It's just lined paper. This one's kind of a little bit messy, but you see this one's just lined paper, and it's just a notebook of lined paper, and it has, this one has movable dividers. So I can move these around between sections very easily to wherever I want them to be, which is nice. Some of the other Rocketbooks that I really enjoy, they have a mini one, and I've got both the mini, it's like those little tiny steno notepads. So I use those all the time for my brain dumps throughout the day. Like if I have to jot down a phone number, if I have to jot down something to do, a reminder, a grocery item list. Those are the types of notebooks that are the easiest to just have near me, that I can jot things down really quickly and then transfer somewhere else later. So that way I don't have 5 million little envelopes and scraps of paper with information floating around. It's all in one spot. So they have one of those, and they have a little holder that makes it so much easier, because then you can keep your pen with it and everything. You'll find that in the Amazon store link. So having the holders for the Rocketbooks, I really enjoy. They also have planners. So there is the Panda planner style. There's just the regular planner. And you can see they already have templates set up for, the days of the week, the calendar, the to-do list. So you can check out their planner and see if how they have it structured is your style, if you like that. And they have just different types of designs of the Rocketbook. One of the things that I like to do, besides just the notebooks, because I teach people about the Rocketbooks, I have a bunch of the different notebooks. I've gotten almost everyone so that I can compare them. But the things that I use most from Rocketbook are the general notebook. So I use my Rocketbook Core or the multi-subject. Those are both the ones with just like lined pages. I use, these are called their cloud cards. They're meant so you can scan them. I never scan these. I use these for my daily lists. So I'll write the top 3 things I have to do that day, or my top reminders to keep, in front of me. So that way I have my quick notes right in front of me, and I can just wipe them off and reuse them whenever I need to. I also do, this helps me build speeches whenever I'm a speaker at an event. It'll help me if I'm trying to organize different bits of information. Then I can use multiple, basically index cards without killing trees. Those are lovely. So I love those. They're in the list as well. And what I did before Rocketbook even offered it, and now they offer it, which I'm so glad, is I actually had some notebooks that I cut the spiral binding off of, and I 3-hole punched. And now they sell pages that are 3-hole punched, which is awesome. So if you have a Rocketbook and you find that you're not using the notebook as much, that you wish that you could put it into a binder or move it around more, which was my thing. That's what I did with a lot of my planner pages from the Panda planner that they have. You could 3-hole punch it. And then what I do with those 3-hole punch pages is I like to grab a nice portfolio. Like I have one like this that I use sometimes, but I have a newer one that I think is going to be a bit easier. This is by Forevermore, and it looks like leather, but it's not. So much less expensive. I have this one, which I will be able to put, I could do the 3-ring, or I could do my flip, my Rocketbook flip in here, and have all of the stuff that I need along inside of it. So I'm really liking the new Flip Forevermore portfolio that I'm going to try with it. But if you have the 3-hole punched, then you can move it around wherever you need it to be. You can put sheets, move sheets before, after, all of that good stuff. And it just kind of makes it a lot easier to access your information. And then you don't have to wipe off your pages every single time. So that's just like the super, super high overview of the Rocketbook stuff. Like I said, those are some of the favorite things I have from the Rocketbook. And whether you have the Rocketbook or not, the friction pens, Frixion, the friction pens by Pilot, these are the ones that you need to use with the Rocketbook, because they have erasable ink that erases by friction. These work on regular paper too. So I use these almost exclusively, whenever I can, I use my friction pens on everything. They've got highlighters, they've got markers, they've got a million different colors. So friction pens. Those are my top Rocketbook items that I like to use the most. So if you're not sure where to start with a core notebook and some friction pens. If you have a few things that you to need to succeed, then go for those. I'm going to check the comments before I go on to the next thing really quick. Oh, thank you, Melody. Kinetic equals motion. That's true. Kinetic does equal motion. So it's kinesthetic. No, because kinesthesia is the seeing color, associated colors and stuff. Okay. Well, now I don't even remember. Yeah, so kinetic, it would be kinetic because it would be the motion of doing it. Thank you. My brain had to work through the grammar there. I'm just kidding. The dogs are extra scared with the tree cutters, so they're all over the place. Hi, Brana. She says, I've been using Rocketbook since the beginning with the Wave. Yes, right? When you could microwave it. Their first erasable notebook introduced on Kickstarter. Yes. Yeah. My husband was a huge Kickstarter person, and he got me one of the first Rocketbooks too. And I've been sucked in ever since. I love it. So you and me both. CJ says, love to handwrite notes. I use the 5x8 Rocketbook so I can slip it into my purse or tote bag. And I use the multicolor friction pen to color code the notes. Yay! Yes, right? Eloise says, I'm late, but I'm here. Lots of love. Hi, Eloise. Good to have you. Nancy says, oh, the Rocketbook. Can you create templates? I'm thinking the Susanna K. Week planning sheets. Yes, in one of my videos on YouTube, I actually show you one of my hacks is that I've created some of my own templates on my Rocketbook pages using a Sharpie because the Sharpie won't come back off. You can't erase it. So you can create your own templates using a Sharpie on a blank Rocketbook page. And I've done that and love it too. And yes, the week planning sheets would be great on a Rocketbook page, right? Yep, there we go. Brana just said, Nancy, I've read that you can create templates by using a permanent marker. Yeah, awesome. Lori says, where's the list of tools you just mentioned? I don't see it in the description. It is in the Amazon, the Amazon link at the very top of the description. So when you're looking at the YouTube, when you're looking at the video on YouTube, underneath, you probably see like a gray box or something with a little bit of typing and then a tiny thing that says more. If you ever want to see more, you click on that little tiny more and it'll open up. But at the very top, you should see the Amazon link right there. It's also in the comments on YouTube towards the very beginning. Ron says, how do you revive the pens when they stop working? Sadly, when they stop working, they are just out of ink. So you can't really revive them. You just have to replace the ink, but they sell refills. So you could just unscrew it and they have little refills. You just replace this. So it makes it nice and easy. But yeah, there's no way to revive the pen since it is actually using up ink. It's just a very special erasable ink, which is nice. All right, so that's the Rocketbook. And like I said, I have a bunch of Rocketbook videos. I've got some Rocketbook hacks and some of my tips and tricks on my YouTube channel as well. But I highly recommend it. Get just one, try it out, see if you like it. And it has been a game changer, I think, for all the forests near me because I'm such a note taker. So next, just going to touch on this one really quickly. Everybody, I think, needs a label maker. Now, I am a professional organizer. I might be biased, but I feel that everybody needs a label maker because there are certain things that are just so much easier to quickly find when it's printed instead of handwritten. And there are just a number of things that it's not really possible to easily handwrite on. And when you label things, then you are more consistent at putting things away and being able to find things. So you've given a space a purpose, and fewer things that don't belong in that category will creep in because it's been labeled and now you know what goes there. So there's something about labeling. When we label baskets and drawers and things like that, we tend to stay more organized because we've assigned it that purpose. Even if you label a cabinet, empty cabinet, then at least you've assigned it empty cabinet. So less likely that things will sneak in there because that is supposed to be the empty cabinet. So everybody needs a label maker. My favorite is the Brother P-Touch. You really only need two types of label tape. I do the black on clear and I do the black on white. Those are the only ones that you need. and it's just going to help you with depending on whatever surface you need to put it on. But the Brother P-Touch label maker is definitely my favorite. I've been using it for almost 20 years now, and whatever their most current one is fantastic. So check that out. Get yourself a label maker. Like I said, I think everybody needs one. That was just a really quick one because I want to wrap up with, oh yes, CJ, sorry. CJ says refills for the friction pens. Yes, she says they're relatively inexpensive and available on Amazon too. Absolutely, you can get a whole box of them. So I tend to buy them in bulk off of Amazon. And then I always have them, especially the colors I use the most, like purple. All right, so I want to wrap up with some of our phone stuff. Now, when we think digital tools and technology, a lot of times what we're thinking of are some of our smart devices. So tablets, phones, all of those good things. I have the iPhone. You may have the iPhone. You might have Android. Either way, there are so many things out there that it's really hard to know what you need, what does what. So let's talk through some of those, and let's talk through the fact that a lot of these things that they sell, you can do much cheaper yourself. So I don't want you to fall into those traps too. Hold on 1 second. See if I can get away from see if I can get the dogs to stay out for a little bit. Still working on training on that one. Okay, so on that Amazon list, I do have, that list will take you to the whole tech list. One part of that is for the iPhone. Most of these things are also available on Android. And for the iPhone ones, you'll just have to type in and see which model of iPhone you have. Eventually, I will have time to make a list for each phone version that you might have, each of the most current ones, but I've not had that time yet. So when you're looking at these, just double check and make sure that it's for your phone model, whether it's the iPhone 13, the Samsung Galaxy, whatever it is. Look for it with, go to the link, see what you're looking for, and look for it in your phone type. Now, my first thing is it's part fun and it's actually part productivity for me. It is the J Teeman, I think is possibly how you say it. But this is just basically a portable phone holder and speaker. Now, the reason why I say part fun, part productivity is because with this speaker, it's nice to be able to have music or entertainment wherever you're at. B, if you do have something like Zoom calls or you listen to podcasts or things like that, it's nice to be able to have the phone up, or like if you do FaceTime or something with the grandkids, things like that too. It's nice to be able to have the phone face up, whether it's that way or that way, it does not matter, while your speaker is playing, and have it right there. You can control all of your speaker volumes here. Just makes it nice and simple and takes any of the guesswork out of using your phone with a speaker. So I find that this one's nice because I liked this one because it really holds the phone well. So unlike a lot of the phone holders, if I need to move it, my phone's not as likely to fall off of the holder. Some of the other holders, it just falls off so easily, and that can be a little bit frustrating. But with this one, you can actually move it however you need it to be. It can be higher, it can be lower, but you have your speaker and your phone all in one place with little anti-skid bottoms too. And so that is one thing that I'm really enjoying right now that you might want to check out if you don't already have an easy way to hold your phone while listening to podcasts or watching YouTube videos or whatever it is. Now, aside from the speaker stand, I do have a trick for my phone that I've been doing for years. So whenever you buy a new phone, you always end up having to buy a new case, right? And the cases get more and more expensive every time, which is sad because the phone itself feels really nice and it's beautiful without the case. It's just way too fragile with the glass fronts. So whenever I get a new phone, instead of needing to buy a bunch of different cases that I can have fun, ones that are fun, or being stuck with one case for the years that I have that phone, or paying a whole lot of money for my new case, I always get a clear case. And these cases, they're a heavy duty, sort of a rubbery silicone sort of case. You'll see it in that Amazon list. These cases have actually been fantastic. I've never had one of my phones break while in one of these cases. They don't look like they aren't super, super um, thick, I should say, but they've always protected it so well. And I have accidentally thrown my phone across concrete and whole stuff, like not on purpose. And they've done a great job protecting my phone, which that's the most important thing, right? Is the protection. But as far as your phone itself, the design, if you have a clear phone case, that means you can create your own design anytime you want to. So if you have, a lot of times I would do, and I don't have it on this one right now, just because I had to add something for work. But here's an example of one that I had gotten for cheap to try something out. But I would put, like, you could put a picture on the back of your phone. And then through that clear case, you can see that picture whenever you want. Like on this one, I'd probably put it towards the bottom. You could print out a picture. You could cut out a pretty quote that you find from somewhere else. You could print out a design. You could cut out a design, whatever you want. Right now, what's in mine is actually a little French phrase from New Year's in Quebec. So, and I've got that on my phone. So it just looks like part of the case. Once you put your case on with that in between, then it protects the picture or the quote or whatever it is. And it looks like it's part of the case, but you can change it out anytime. So don't buy a million cute cases. Buy a clear case and make it your own whenever you want to. You could put a pressed flower down there, whatever you wanted to. Normally, you won't have this big magnet in the middle. This is purely for the fact that I use this phone a lot for video, like video recording and things like that for my business. So normally you will be able to see your picture and your design even better. But there you go. You can change the look of your phone anytime with just a clear phone cover. And these are available for any type of phone. So whatever type of phone you have, look for just a clear cover. And I like the ones that make sure that it says that it is not yellow and it doesn't get hard. This one's slightly hard, but on purpose. It's still kind of bendable. Now, some other things that you will want to get that are also ways to customize your phone for fun, but to protect your phone as well. This one I'll show the picture just because it's hard to see what I'm talking about when it's on the phone. Let me pull this up. Okay, so you can see in the picture, these are camera covers. No matter what kind of phone you have, if your camera lenses stick out, then you're going to need to protect them, because I did not have protectors on my cameras when I got my first phone that had the stick out cameras, and one of the screens of the cameras cracked, and that is not a cheap fix. So get yourself some camera covers. You can get ones that are a set that is all one piece that can go on top, but I like the individual ones. So that way if one cracks, I don't have to remove all three of them. I can just replace one. But you can also have fun with this. This one is a sparkly one that I have and I've used. And then the one that I have right now is more of a just multicolor one. But that's what these are. So this and this and this, these are individual little screen protectors that I just popped right on. So feel free, have fun with those, but make sure that you have them. So that way, if you hit your phone just wrong, then you're not going to crack one of your camera covers, because if you do, then your pictures are not going to come out as nice. And it, like mine, I cracked one that made focusing really hard to do. So protectors, but have fun with them if that's something that you enjoy doing. Next. Go. Now, a lot of times we buy these expensive cases because they have, like for iPhone, that's MagSafe, right? This is the one that lets you charge your phone while it's still in the case. The thing is, you don't have to buy the MagSafe that's integrated into the case anymore. Nowadays, you can buy just the MagSafe ring, and it can stick onto the cover. And I'm going to show you on this old cover that I have on the list. And this is so much less expensive if you buy it separately and add it onto the plain case yourself. And it's very easy to do, super, super easy to do. It's much easier than putting a screen protector on. But these MagSafe types of rings can be very expensive if they're integrated into the case already. So I love to get these and add them on afterwards myself and save myself like a good 20 bucks just by having the rings. And usually these come in like a set of 2, 3, 4. So I have one for either if I want to change cases or for my next 3 or 4 phones. Now, having the MagSafe magnet just means that you can use those pucks, those round things, to charge your phone. So having this is a convenience. You don't have to have it. But if you do have it, even if you don't have a MagSafe phone, then you could still use one of these, not to charge your phone, but when you have these, then that makes it extra easy to add attachments and accessories to your phone as well. One of those would be a holder. So I find that I drop my phone so much less often, less frequently, if I have a holder for my phone. And if you can get one that's a magnet, you don't have to worry about if it loses its, like sometimes these types of holders get really floppy. They lose their spring inside or something like that. And then you don't have to get a whole new case because it's stuck to it. You can just get a new holder. And sometimes you can take the holder off because there are times where you might not want it. But with the MagSafe magnets on there, it's nice and strong holding your case so you can hold it without dropping the phone when your hands are full. Or if you're like me and you have a hard time holding a phone and typing or pressing a photo button, this just makes it a little bit easier, especially with sore hands. So getting these MagSafe rings, even if you don't have a MagSafe type of phone where it'll charge, it can help you add on some of these accessories that are magnetic. You'll see that the other option is this is actually just a flat magnetic panel. And I use this because one of my tripods, the holder is a magnet. So I can stick my phone to the magnet to do a video. So you can also just get magnets that are general, like stick-on magnets for your case if you wanted to as well, or for behind your case sometimes, depending on how thick that case is. Now, the other thing that you would use those magnets for, and I put these all over. These are everywhere in my home and in my car. There's 2 different types that I will show you really quickly. And you've probably seen something like this. So these are magnets, basically, that attach to the back of the phone. And I'm wondering if I have one here, actually, right next to me. Probably do, but I'm not seeing it at the moment. They are basically magnets that you can attach to the dashboard of your car or to a wall or to your desk or wherever it is. They're most normally put on the car, and then you can attach your phone to it. So that way, if you're using your phone for something like maps, which a lot of times we do need to be able to see the map if it's on your phone and not on the car itself, then it will hold that phone for you. So you've got the map right there so you can see it. So that type that is on the screen has the base that attaches to something like your dashboard with a removable mounting tape. The other type that I use often is a flat version. So you can see that you have a magnet on your phone, on the back of the phone, and it will stick to the magnet that is wherever you put it in your house. So these are just flat ones. You could put it like on your refrigerator. It's magnetic as well, so it can stick to the refrigerator. Or you could use, the double-sided tape or command strips or whatever, stick it to a wall. Now, why do I have these everywhere? Is the question, right? Well, because when I'm at work, a lot of times I need to be able to see things on my phone while I'm doing things for my computer. So having that magnet that I can just stick the phone right up and it's not on the desktop, I'm not going to lose it. And I can actually see it right there is very helpful. Next to the bed, I actually listen to sleep stories to help myself fall asleep with my ADHD brain. And having a magnet thing that can just stick right next to my bed means cat's not going to knock my phone off the nightstand. It's going to be right there and stay plugged in all night. In the car, I can see my maps. All of those different places, next to the couch. If I have one spot with that magnet, then my phone can easily go there and I'm less likely to wander off and lose my phone. So having these mag strips, not only does it mean that you can charge your phone with those pucks, but it also means that you can attach a lot of these different accessories to it. Either the mag strips or some of them, like that center magnet. You just put that center magnet either behind your cover or just in the center of your mag strip, which is nice. So those are some of the things. I've got two more that I wanted to tell you about really quickly with your phone. But I wanted to answer a couple of these really quickly. Oh, Kazia said that she wants that. Awesome. Peggy Jean says, question off topic. What was on your water tumbler? Oh, I will answer that in just a minute. Good question. Hi, lovely Marie. Good to see you. And CJ says, does your phone case work with wireless charging docks? Yep, it does. Just because of the MagSafe stick-on, it helps it to work with those wireless charging docks. That's those little pucks and stuff. So you need to have the MagSafe strip in order for it to work, but you do not have to pay the $30, $40, $50 that they charge for a case that already has it built in. You can absolutely get the add-on later. Denise says, does the magnet for the car have the sticky stuff to put it on the dash? I've always had issues with that type coming off in the summer. I can understand that. I'm in Florida. And yes, it does. Sometimes what I will do is if I'm putting it in a car that's going to be sitting in direct heat more often, because one of our cars does more often, I actually get one that has a bigger base. So the one that's in our more of an outdoor car right now has more of a big square base. So that way it can kind of adhere itself a little bit better. And when I put it on like at the end of the heat part of the day. So here in Florida, just because the sun went down does not mean it's not hot. I usually put it on, like 9, 10 o'clock at night. So that way it has a cooler time to kind of adhere itself. And I don't attach anything to it for, a little while before, like the next day. I'll attach things the next day, but I won't use it for several hours. I'll let it kind of just grab on. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. All right, so there were two other things with the phone that I wanted to show you, but also I will answer Peggy Jean, off topic. This is, and I got this from like one of those cheap little internet sites. I'll have to see if they have them on Amazon because it's been great. It's just kind of a carrying thing for my tumbler. And that's just because I have fibromyalgia. So for me, my hands get extremely painful and I can't always grip very well. So when I'm having tough days, then I'm able to lift up my cup to my mouth to drink. So that's all. I got two of them just from some cheap internet site that I was able to get them from. And I'll have to find some on Amazon because they really are helpful if you have sore hands. Or if you carry a drink while holding a lot of stuff too, actually. Okay. Two more things that I wanted to show you, and these are tiny, for your phone. Now, It's not as big of a problem these days. It used to be a really huge problem. But do you remember when we used to be able to use regular headphones with an iPhone? Yeah, we used to be able to actually plug in our regular cheap old dollar store or wherever headphones or our really fancy ones that we'd bought with this type of connector, the standard headphone type of jack. We used to be able to plug it right into our phones. Well, once iPhone changed that, there's an adapter. So if you do still have, like I do, a bunch of those older headphones, these I use for travel or when I'm doing things that they might get broken. Now you can get adapters. You can plug the headphone in and then plug in the lightning. This is the lightning type of an insert just for iPhone. Plug that into your phone and you can actually listen through your regular headphones. So this is not an adapter from Apple. So sometimes you might have to jiggle one. The one that I listed is the one that I use. And that one has been working for me for quite a while. I think it might have been a pack of 2 or something. But we have several of these around the house. Anything that would be this type of a connector, you can use this type of adapter in order to plug it into your phone. So even better than that, though, is this type of an adapter. If you've ever tried to listen to your headphones and charge your phone at the same time, you've probably found that you can't do that, right? Well, with this adapter, you can plug your headphones in one part and plug your charging cord in the other part, and then plug that into your phone. And now you can listen to your music or your story or your podcast or Susanna and charge your phone at the same time. So these two adapters, they're very inexpensive, but they make such a huge difference when we're dealing with iPhone. I'm sure they have something like that for Android if you have that problem too. I don't know if Android users have that problem or if they let you have the old style headphone jacks still. So it might not even be an issue for the Android users, but check it out. Those are 2 essentials that I have. They do also have, if you travel a lot and ever need to share sound on your phone, they do have ones where you can plug in 2 headphones to the same phone also. But there are a number of different adapters. Those are the 2 though that I use the most often with my phone. And if I do not mention this, then this would be probably then shame on me, is if you do have a smartphone or smart device, really any type of device that has one of the glass screens like the iPhone does, then make sure to get yourself a screen protector. And what you're looking for in a screen protector, you want to make sure that it is a tempered glass. Those are the best ones, tempered glass. So they are not expensive. You do not have to buy it directly from Apple or from your cell phone provider. Just a tempered glass it's going to actually take most of the impact, and it itself can shatter. It won't like have little bits everywhere though. Since it's tempered glass, it kind of stays against your screen. But if it cracks, that's not a bad thing. That means that your phone would have cracked if you did not have it. So go for the tempered glass style. And you can see that kind of on the screen. Tempered glass type of screen protector for your smartphones, because those are the only ones that I found that have done the best to protect the screen itself. And they're easy to put on, as far as easy-ish, as easy as a protector can be to put on. They are easy to remove if they break, and they are not very expensive. So check those out. If you do not already have one, make sure to get one, because it is very expensive to have to replace the screen of your phone because it cracked. Nobody wants to do that. So those are my top digital items that I feel are the most important to have or be aware that are out there to solve a problem if you need to. Hopefully that helped you out. Let me know if you have any questions. I think I answered all the questions, but if not, please ask again in the comments. CJ says, love that dual adapter. I keep the basic adapter with my suitcase for flight so I can use old but fantastic. The Bose wired headphones. Yes, right? Like those, and I love to have multiple sets of headphones around because even like my AirPods, I have those, but they could run out of battery. So having those old style headphones, whether they are nice ones like the Bose or cheap ones, having an adapter so you could still use them makes a huge difference. And this works with tablets as well as the phones. So yes, and a travel adapter with charging and listening, that has been a lifesaver, especially during travel when I listen to sleep stories to fall asleep and I don't want my husband to have to hear them too. I fall asleep with the headphones on, but sometimes I need to charge my phone at the same time. So hopefully that helps. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. Next week and probably for the next month, since summer is full on blazing here in Florida and it's arriving for everybody else too. Along with summer comes summer storms, tornadoes, hurricanes, flooding, fires, all of the things that the reason why we do the things we do to gather and organize our papers and to protect our homes, those are the reasons. Because you never know what could come up, right? You never know if there's going to be a hurricane, a fire. So we will be talking about emergency prep and safety over the next several weeks. So hopefully you can join me for that. I will share, not only some of my favorite products. Today I focused a little bit more on products, but definitely not always about the various products. I will talk about some of the ways that you can be more prepared for emergencies, share some of my resources, some things that you might not have known, some ways to build an emergency supplies kit and how to manage it. And there's just a number of things that we're going to be talking about. So if you or if anybody that you know would be interested in learning more about how to be prepared for any type of emergency that might come your way, definitely make sure that you don't miss the Thursday talks and make sure that you're on my email list because that's what we will be sharing. And if you want to hear more or join us in the Pathfinders, please hop on over, go to Pathfinders. Go to SusannaK.com and you can join the Pathfinders Plus Club. We just launched a huge upgrade to it, which so excited. There's even more stuff coming out soon. It's going to start to roll out. So if you get on now, then you can save some money too. So join me, Pathfinders Plus Club. Try it out for a month. I'm sure that you will absolutely love it. But if you don't, not a big risk, right? All right. Well, if you are a Pathfinder already, though, I look forward to seeing you over in our Pathfinder Live right now. I love you so much. I will see you later. Keep being amazing, and Pathfinders, hopping over now. Bye.